Face down, ass up. That's the way we like to fuck. Face down, ass up. That's the way we like to fuck.
Hey guys, what is up? It is Sky here, and I am kind of back on Maple again. When I say kind of back on Maple, I kind of mean like I'm here for just to chillax and have fun, I guess. I'm not gonna be funding and I'm not gonna be bossing, so don't expect any of those kind of content to come out on my channel. But what I am gonna do is just make fun videos with like people I know, Melv, Alan, Tiff, etc. People that I kind of know that are on my Skype, and just have fun. So those are going to be the type of videos that I'm gonna start making. Um, but it's not gonna just understand that I'm still going to school, so you have to understand that it's gonna take me some time to make those videos or record and upload it on YouTube. So I hope you guys still will stick with me, and thank you for sticking with me even though I said I will be quitting. And also this channel is going to expand into a more different gaming wise, where I might just play League or just some other variety of games that comes to mind. So yeah, that's just going to be what's going to happen. Also, I've promised you guys to make a video about how to properly gear your characters and what to get first and so on, and maybe fun at the same time. So this video is basically going to be that video that I promised. So I hope you guys will enjoy the video, and yeah, so let's just get it started. So before I start, I'm going to tell you guys that Nexon, I'm pretty sure most of you are aware, have these like special events or free giveaway kind of looking things like hot times and stuff that they do, and it's really a good way to get free gear, kind of like a merch, or not a merch, I should say, trying to abuse that kind of events that give you free stuff. For example, the Futuroids, where you can get the electric hearts. If you have more than one account, if you really want to make the efforts collecting the hearts and later on selling them, can also earn you money, which is really great and awesome to do. It also gives you a free Android that you can get too, so it's really cool. And especially this electro heart has 8 slots, so if you do hammer it twice, it's gonna be 10 slots, and if you prime it, that's like 100 attack, which is really amazing. And Nexon also has those events where you give free scrolls for like weapon attack, and you can also scroll these hearts. So basically anything is kind of free in a way. It's just hard work and dedication that you put into. So I would really abuse these events. Like Maple Leaf High, you can get these totems, which is really cool to have. It really does help you in the long run. So I would abuse events that, like I said, that they do. And they also do, like I said, hot times where you can get free stuff. Like for instance, I think it was 3 days ago they did a hot time where they did give away a free 100% epic potential scroll, which is really cool. It's not tradable though, but you can give services, and most people and some people buy it. Price varies depending on what server you're on, but I would definitely abuse these events to gain a little bit of misos, and to benefit yourself and later on funding yourself in the long run. So yeah, that's what I would do. And so let's start getting on with the equips and what to start out with. Okay, so many of you guys have the misconception of thinking that if you have really good gear such as your RA gear, your top hat bottom, and your rings, that you're going to do amazing damage. And then when you guys actually obtain those items and then you start attacking and you're like, why do I have such low damage? Is because that's not really the first item you should really go for. The first item you should really go for is your main weapon, handed weapon. Why main handed weapon? Because it gives you the most attack damage. First of all, gives you most attack damage, and you can also get potentials and bonus potential on it, and neb on it. Neb as in like boss damage neb, or PDR if you really need it, but mostly you get boss neb. On the potential, you can get attack percent, which is really good, especially if you want to increase your damage a lot. You can also get boss percent if you're going to be a bosser. But what most people opt for on the main pot is 1 line of boss and 2 line of attack, or 2 line of boss and 1 line of attack, which is of course legendary. And that's what most people really look for in a melee kind of weapon. If you're a mage, you want, of course, the same thing, but magic percent attack. And on that bonus potential, you really opt for just attack percent or magic attack percent, because it does increase your damage a lot, and that's why the main hand weapon is the most important one. If you want to get super crazy and super funded, you can always prime your weapon, which is really good because it gives you plus 10 attack and magic attack and plus 3 all stats which on your weapon, and is really good. And you can also obviously scroll it 10 times, which is 100 attack and 30% all stats, which is really good. But if you don't really want to go all that trouble in getting NX and trying to protect your thing and etc, you can always opt for the spell traces, which if you go here and if you go to a weapon like this, I say, there's 100%, 70%, 30%, 15%. There's events like I said, Spell Trace Fever, where these percents go up. So the 15% will be 30%, the 30% will be 45%, 70% will be 90%, and the 100%, well, of course, will be always 100%. It's really good. This gives you plus 9 weapon attack, which is like one less from the prime. This is really good, especially if you don't want to prime it. So this is what I'll opt for. If you're kind of funded and you're not super funded, I would go for the 30% or 70%, depending on how much money you want to spend and stuff like that. So that's what I would really opt for, is because you can get attack percent, boss percent, and the item you can put boss snap on it, which is really helpful when it comes to bossing later on. So that's the first thing I would opt for in Maple as funding your character, is the weapon, as it does put the most damage output. And if you want to see the difference, is I have a clean weapon. Okay, I have a clean weapon. This is just this, it's like whatever. Clean weapon. Let's equip this and this. This is all the gear I have. So as you see, I have not funded my character, or not playing this character anymore. So excuse me for the lack of representation. So you see this character, you're like, oh, look at the damage. Oh, that's cool. But like, once I have a upgraded version, like scrolled and like a little bit of potential, it's not great potential, but it's like a sample. Like I said, at least has some attack percent, which gives it a better demonstration. If you equip it, it increased the range by around 38k to 400k. Of course, the damage will increase more as you have more gear, better gear on, but the main output damage is your weapon, so I would opt for the weapon first. And so yeah, the weapon is key. And let's get to the second item. Now after you finish upgrading your main weapon first, like you're satisfied with what you got, and you want to work on something else, it would be your secondary. Now each secondary varies from each class. For Mihal's, of course, is this Soul Justice Shield, which is only Mihal bound, and they can only use this for a secondary. Kaiser's, I think they have like a different one that's account bound. So some stuff are account bound, so you can't really prime it and stuff like that. But if it's like a mage or like a paladin, something like along the lines of those, that uses a shield, or like a Dragon Kajara, I think I'm saying it right, Kajara, whatever, for bandits and stuff like that, or a Katara for dual blades. You can prime those, or for Kajara it's different. For the Katara is also different too. But if it's shield wise, like mage, priming is really good, because like I said, later on, plus whatever stats that your class requires is always going to be good. The reason why the secondary is important is because you can get attack percent and boss percent, which is really good, like I said, for bossing and damage output. Same thing with the bonus pot. It's basically like a main hand weapon, but you're just for the potential wise. So potential wise is really good. That's why I would opt for the secondary first, because that's your second damage output. It is the second item that gives you attack percent, or magic percent, is really good. So I would really opt for the secondary because of that reason. And you can also put a boss neb. The main weapon and the secondary are the only items that you can put boss nebs on, or PDR neb, which is really useful, like I said, for bossing. If you become a bosser and you're aiming for that 2 mil range or 50 mil per line damage on a boss. So ideally this is what you want to do, your weapon first PDR, and attack percent. So secondary is really important. Now after your secondary, you really want to get into your set now, like your hat, your top, and your bottom. CRA or Chaos Root Abyss gear is what you really want to opt for in the long run. Why? Is because first of all, it's really good gear, level 150, and it has a really good set bonus effect. And also, if you look at the items really closely, there's below the avoidability, there's ignore monster defense, which is really good when it comes to Vellum, Chaos Vellum, and I think Codex and Lotus, I think, is boss that you need for PDR wise. So it's really good, and it stacks up to your PDR. So that's really helpful to get, and plus the bonus is really good too. The third set and the fourth set is really amazing. So I mean, I would really abuse this. On the gear, if you're like not really super funded and stuff like that, I would really opt for 15% unique, which is really good. 18% is nicer unique wise, but if you want to get like, you know, if you really want to achieve that 2 mil range on these, I would for 21% whatever class you are stats on it. So it's 20% whatever stats plus, the more the better, of course. And what you really want to scroll it with is you don't really want to waste Chaos of Goodness or Chaos Scrolls on it just to get that weapon attack. Weapon attack is always, you know, good, but in the long run, plus whatever, you know, stat like strength, dex, int, or luck is always good to more to have because of the percent strength. The more percent, like I said, for my class Mihal, I use strength. So if I have more percent strength and I get more plus strength on the thing for because I use strength, the more damage I'll increase. I'll have more output. So I would for that. You can scroll it with like I said, there's Spell Trace Fevers where you can oops, wrong one, hold up. Spell Trace Fever where you can use it, like I said. There's 100%, 70%, 30%. There's no 15% for these. So 30% is really good because it gives you +7, and then it gives you all the extra bonus thing, HP, weapon defense, and magic defense, which is really nice. And if it's Spell Trace Fever, this goes to 45% and this goes to 90%. So I mean, why not? It's like free basically. So I would really abuse those on the Spell Trace events. But if you really don't want to, if you really want to go super pro, priming it is always, you know, the extra run that you can do. And you're like, I can't really afford these kind of stuff, I can't really buy these. If you're guildies, a lot of people, what they do, if you know people, high level people and stuff like that, or if you're in a good guild, they mostly do, or they will do CRA runs every week because it resets every week. And you have the opportunity for them, if they have drop gear percent and if they're really good at bossing, that this will probably drop, these gears will probably drop 100% of the time. And then they will, if you ask them nicely, or they're like looking for mules, you're able to join the party and get these items. And you can ask them if you're good buddies with them, or if you're in your guild, if they're nice enough, say, hey, I really need this for my class. Can you, you know, do you think I'll can keep this for my class? And they'll say yes. If they say no, then it's, oh, well, that kind of really sucks for you. But most of the time, most people will say yes. But if they say no and they want that specific class, like say most people go for warrior and thief, and you can keep the mage, pirate, and etc. You can sell those and you can earn your way money to buy this your class set. So it's really good to have these kind of things. So that's a way to get free stuff if your guildies are nice and Gucci. So that is the third thing I would get is your RA set gear. Okay, so now since we go into our fourth kind of thing to get, this kind of comes in like a bundle kind of thing where it's like you should get the cape, shoes, and belt. Now, the cape wise, you know, you really want to opt for Tyrant. Like I said, Tyrant these days are really affordable. I shouldn't say everyone can afford it, but like I said, you can work your way by obtaining it. But Tyrant's really good. They're like 400 through like 600 mil, depending on which class you are. You can also get it for kind of like a free. Well, I'm kind of like burping, excuse me though. But you can kind of get it for like free in a way if your guildies or people you know go hard madness mules per week. It resets every week. And then if you do like the reset tickets and stuff, like you can do it twice per week. In those runs, you can if they do hard madness, they'll drop capes. If they do it properly, all the class capes, and if they have enough drop percent and stuff like that. So if they're really nice, they'll let you keep the capes, and then you can go on from there. But if they're not nice, they'll let you. You can be a drop coin mule, which means that they drop these Magnus coins. That there's a shop in that place where you can purchase tyrants such as the belt, shoes, and cape. The cape, I don't know how many coins it is, but you can purchase that, and then so the cape is what you really want to go for. Tyrant is what you really want to go for. To be honest, Tyrant is what you want to go for. The cape, shoes, and belt. If you want to go 2 mil range and you really go super efficient bosser, but that's a different story, and that's how much you want to fund. And the cape, if you're not super rich and stuff like that, you're kind of starting out, like you just got your tyrant. You kind of want 5 stars on it, minimal, because it gives you like 160 plus all stats, and gives you like 30 attack. It's really good in general. Like I said, and if you want a bonus potential, you want 15%, whatever your class is. For me, how strength, so I want 15% strength on it. It's really good. But if you really want to go super funding, 10 stars is actually really good. 10 plus stars is what you really want to aim for. Shoes, like I said, shoes you want to aim for tyrant shoes. Tyrant shoes are same thing as the cape. The more stars you have on tyrants, the more better. 5 stars what you really want, and percent whatever. But if you're gonna go for super funding, 10 plus stars and 21% whatever stat your class is it's better. Belt wise, now belt you can change around. You can get a tyrant belt, which is what most people get, or you can get reinforced and superior belt. Reinforced belt is when you're going if you're going like a kind of saving kind of funding. Superior belt is kind of the same thing too. So I mean, I would if you really want, I like the superior set, so I would go for superior belt. But if you really can't afford it, reinforced belt is just as nice, but it just has less attack and less all stats when you fully scroll it and star it. So it's really nice. It's alternative to a tyrant if you can't afford it. So cape tyrant, boot tyrant, tyrant belt. If you really want to go super funding, like I said, super funding, all tyrant for cape, shoes, and belt. 10 star plus and 21% all stats, legendary of course. Not all stats, but stats that your class is. So that's what you really want if you want to go super funding. If you really can't afford the belt, or you don't want the belt, reinforced and superior is just as nice. So I would really opt for those, and you have a variety of options, so it's really nice to do that kind of thing. And I guess there's another one where there's a black tinker belt, but I mean that's just like really super rare. I'm pretty sure it's like more expensive than tyrant and stuff like that, but I mean, like, it's preference wise. So yeah, that is what I would opt for, and then we will get on to the next segment. Okay, so now since we've got our cape, shoes, and belt and everything else, we really want to start working on our rings. Yes, our rings. What most people get for rings is Codex rings, which would be superior, reinforced, solid, and cracked. Now all these rings can be attained by yourself and scrolled by yourself, of course, in the Codex shop. When you finish the Codex pre-quest, you collect these little coins that Codex drops. For example, like these are not Codex coins, but these are like kind of the same color. These would be like to obtain the superior, cracked, reinforced, and solid rings and earrings. You can also get earrings too, so you can get from those shop. And these blue ones, that's Codex, kind of the penny coins, I think that's what it's called. You can only get the basic coins and like potions and stuff like that. So basic, and this is also for advanced Codex scrolling when you want to scroll your rings. You really want those kind of four, But if you want to go super hard funding, you can replace your cracked ring for LGR, which is the lightning god ring, which gives you like plus 10 weapon attack for its bonus, or it might be more, and so that's the only benefit about it. It looks cool, but it's not really good in the long run, in my opinion. Scarlet ring is an alternative too, which it gives an extra stat bonus to the highest set piece, second set piece, I guess. So if you ever have full superior set and you have a reinforced something, the Scarlet Ring will put a second the second set effect for the reinforced. So it's a really cool thing to have. So yeah, so you really want to get the rings after your cape, shoes, and belt. Now the thing is that on the rings you can obtain the earrings you can obtain from the Gullick shop. The only things that you can't obtain is the pendant and the belt. Now if you're aiming for superior pendants and belt, you have to do Helix, which is the hardest mode in the Gullick's run. And at that point you want to do super funding, but people, if like I said, if they're really good at bossing, if you know people, they'll do Helix runs for you, and then you're able to obtain those items. So it's really cool, excuse me. So those items, so it's really cool to get those. So yeah, and then we go to after the rings we go to the pendants and earrings. Now the earrings, depending on what set you want, you can go to the reinforced set, which isn't bad. The only difference of reinforced set and a superior set is of course the stats. It's the attack percent and the all stats are a little bit lower. It doesn't make a huge difference, but you know, it just makes a little difference, not a huge difference. And the force set effect is different, where the force set for superior is 30% boss damage and 30% ignore defense, PDR, but on the reinforced one is only 50% PDR. So that's it's kind of a big difference, but not really. So I mean, so it's budget wise, is how much you want to spend and how much you want to fund. Like I said, you really want to go for the 2 pendants. If you're really super funded, you want to go for 2 pendant slots, superior set, and then you want to go for a tyrant belt and superior earrings. They're really good, and they're really good to have. So the rings, crack, solid, reinforced, and superior is what I would get in my own. And then yeah, whatever set you're gonna go for, just you can change it up in varieties of ways. So after you finish those sets, let's just get on to the next part of what you should get. Okay, so after you've gotten your rings, pendant, and earring, you really or my way, you really want to go for the shoulders and face and eye accessories. Yes, shoulders. The shoulders wise, you can you really want to. I like Meister shoulders in my own preference wise, because Meister shoulders is all classes. But if you really want, there's like a certain set shoulders, kind of like a Meister shoulder looking, but it's like Ravenhorn, Lionheart and stuff like that. The Empress kind of set for shoulders. It's really good because it gives you a lot of weapon attack and or magic attack depending on what class you are, like I said, and you can also potential it, of course, which is really nice. So, or if you're like a super hardcore funder and you have a lot of money, you can try to look for a Black Tinker shoulder, which is technically the best shoulder you can get. So Black Tinker shoulder is what most people would opt for, so I would try to get that if you want to go super funding and hardcore. For face accessory, you want to go for Sweetwater Tattoo, because it is really nice potential wise. You can get really high potential because it's level 160. And it's really cool to get. It's really cool because like you can get like 23% or like 30% and like 40%, whatever. You can get really high percent because it's such a high level item, and you can get these items. You can also obtain these items for free, of course. If you do Commercy runs, I think you buy it from a shop in there if you have enough the Commercy coins, or if you're lucky, it drops from the bosses that you fight in the Commercy runs. So it's really cool to have this. You can also prime it, which is also really good too. Like I said, the more stats you have, the better outcome you get. Face accessory, I don't have it. If you're melee, some people like Raccoon Masks because it has 30 attack. 30 attack, or you can prime it and it's tradable. You don't have to p-socket or anything like that. But what I would opt for if you're going to play that account only is the Sweetwater glasses. Why? It might be not tradable after you wear it, but it gives you a really nice potential, like the Sweetwater tattoo, a really high potential wise, and you can prime it too, and it's really cool, so I would opt for that. So the shoulders, Black Tinker number 1, Meister 2, and then Empress shoulders, whatever class you are. Sweetwater, tattoo of course is the key to get. Eye accessory is Sweetwater glasses or Raccoon mask. Raccoon mask, I would say it's only for like attack wise people like warriors and stuff like that, uses melee. You know what I mean, like thieves and stuff like that. If it's like a mage class, I wouldn't really go for Raccoon mask. I would get the Sweetwater glasses. So that's what I would get. So next to the next one, next segment. Thing I would get after everything you have done is the heart. Now, the heart is really good because it also gives you weapon and magic attack, which is really good. Now, the difference of heart is there's 2 hearts that gives you really good potential, which would be this heart where I have on equipped right now, which is a superior lithium heart, and there's a titanium heart. See, these hearts are really good because you get really high potentials on it, unlike the barrel heart or the lithium heart or any other free heart, star heart, and stuff like that. You really can't get really good potential on it. But the thing is, for star heart and stuff like that, they have really high slots, so you can get really good weapon and magic attack on it. So the difference of a superior and titanium heart compared to the other hearts is that you can get really good potential on it, which is really nice. The heart, this work last because I think it's the least important one, but it's really nice to have. But yeah, so this is what I would get. And then, totems, of course, if you want to do the events like Maple Leaf High, they're really nice, like I said in the beginning of the video, to have because it gives you plus weapon attack and plus whatever stats in your class uses. And then there's a pocket item that you can go for. And then the last bit is the Codex. I would work on your Codex. Most people don't know about this or like forget about this, is your Crusader Codex. Now, if you finish a leaf-free Codex book, by killing all the monsters on Leaf Free at least once and collecting the cards from them, the Codex gives you +1 of all stats, not all stats, all skills, and gives you 30% PDR, which is really nice to get. The more PDR, the better. So yeah, stat-wise, I will explain really briefly. I won't get too into it, and I'll give you a little explanation on the abilities. Now, boss percent, you really want, if you want to become a really good bosser, you want at least 250% minimal. 230, 220 is nice, but the higher the better. You really, like 300 is a little bit more excessive, like 250 is really good enough, so 250 is nice. For ignore defense, you can get you want to get 85 to 90%. 90% is really what you really want to aim for. The higher, I wouldn't really care about, I wouldn't really worry about getting too high past 90. So 90 or 85 to 90 is really good. So that's what I would get. There's also other ways to increase your range, which would be mules, the Kana, and some other things. Kana, yeah, I can't remember. Kana of Demon Avenger, Xenon and stuff like that they have skills where they increase your damage by 15% total damage, and then the Xenon gives you like all stats, so whatever percent. So that's really good to increase your attack stats, your range increase. Also, if you want to increase your boss and PDR a little, I think and crit by chance, crit would be Phantom, and then boss would be, what's it called again? Beast Tamer, which also gives you crit at the same time, and Demon Avengers, not Demon Avengers, but Demon Slayers. That's what I would get for that. So boss percent. If you want to do a little bit PDR, I think that class is the Luminous. So Luminous gives you like pretty good, decent one if you're really low on ignore defense. So that's what I would go for. Now, the last thing I'll talk about is the epic abilities, or the ability bar. If you really, ability bar is what depends on what class you are, is what you want to go for. Like I say, your fire, poison, ice of the lightning, Fire Poison, Ice and Lightning, Heroes, Paladin, Kaisers and stuff like that. You want to go for plus Legendary, of course, is what you want to aim for, plus 1 attack speed. The more attack speed you do, the more damage output you'll get because you attack faster, which is really cool to get, which is really good to get. So I would really aim for that. And it's really hard to get. A lot of people have tried to get it. It's really hard. So, I mean, the second best is boss. Second best is crit. Yeah, crit would be second one. The third would be boss, and the fourth would be buff duration. Now, buff duration varies on what class you use. If there's a class that doesn't really depend on attack speed, then go for buff duration and boss and crit. So that's what I really aim for. Or if you have max % speed on your attack, then just go for buff duration and crit and stuff like that. So that's what I would really opt for. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is totally my opinion on what you should do first and stuff like that. If you guys felt like I left something out, or if you guys have questions on if you guys are confused on what I just said, Jen is a fag for saying back for fags. She's Canadian, she likes fag milk. But if you guys are confused on any of the stuff I just said, leave a comment down below, and then I will try to answer it to the best of my abilities. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching. Until next time, guys, see ya.